Today I'll be showing you how to do a flat panel basic bind off. This bind off creates a straight edge on any project like a headband or a baby blanket. This differs from the bind off of that like a hat where it cinches at the top. To begin, I'm going ahead and using my working project here. You can see I already have a couple of rows and I'm ready to take my project off my loom. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and E-wrap the first two pegs. After I've done this, I'm going to go ahead and knit off both first pegs using my hook. Next, we're going to take that peg on the right, we're going to pick up that stitch onto our hook, and we're going to move it over to the peg onto the left. So now that there are two stitches on this peg, I'm going to go ahead and knit off. Now I'm going to take that stitch, and last but not least, I'm going to move it over to the empty peg on the right. And that's it. I've taken off one stitch on my peg, on my loom, excuse me. Now I'm going to continue this around the rest of my loom, so I'm going to E-wrap the next peg. Then I'm going to go ahead and knit off that next peg. Then I'm going to take that stitch and move it one peg to the left. And then I'm going to knit off that peg. And then I'm going to move this stitch over one peg to the right. And then I'm just going to go ahead and continue this around the rest of my loom. You can already see the progress I've made. You can see that little straight edge that I have going there for me, and this is just going to continue as I move around the loom. Now, if any of this is confusing for you, I encourage you to just go back a little bit into the video and watch it again. You can also slow down this video by going into the settings section and clicking speed and lowering it to 50%, and that'll make the video go a little bit slower if this is too fast for you. I'm just going to keep showing you here how to do it over and over again all the way around my loom, because I feel like if you see it a couple times, it'll help you to understand it more. But if you need to replay that video, please do not hesitate to do that. Alright, so we're just gonna, after I finish this, I'm gonna show you my progress so far. Look at that nice straight edge. That's what we're going here with that flat panel bind off. Just creates a really smooth edge that differs from that when you do your standard hat with your standard like drawstring bind off. The project that I'm working with here today is a baby headband. I do have a tutorial that walks you how to actually make this headband, take it off the loom, and then actually attach these cute little flowers to it as well. So I'll link that tutorial below for you to check that out too. Once again though, this bind off can be applied when you're making baby booties, when you're making blankets, headbands, scarves, any kind of thing where you're working with a flat panel and not something curved like a hat.
Midnight hearts between now and yesterday. I know this time has gone too far.
If you did enjoy this tutorial, this video was made by Caring Caps Inc. We're a nonprofit organization that teaches people how to knit. We send hand knitted items all around the world to various midwiferys and stuff. If you're an active knitter, I'd love for you to join us. I'll put a link to that below. And we have tons of videos on YouTube showing other tutorials for you how to make items as well as other techniques. So I encourage you to check those out. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my last stitch. I'm going to begin by E-wrapping that last stitch, knitting it off, moving that stitch one peg over to the left, knitting that off, and then moving it over one peg to the right. Now you're left with one peg, so what I just like to do is I just like to E-wrap one more time just for good measure, knit it off one final time, and then what I'm going to do with my working yarn is I'm just going to cut it, leaving a pretty nice sized tail. I'm going to take that stitch off the loom. I'm going to make that loop a little bit bigger so I can fit my fingers through it. And then I'm going to take that working yarn and pull it through and then tighten it. This will finish off your project and leave you with a nice clean stitch. And this is the project. Like I said, it's just a little flexible baby headband. It stretches really cute. You can see that nice basic bind off right there. See how smooth of an edge that makes? And then that's the row where I cast it on. So this is completely optional, but I'm going to reinforce this area between my last stitch and my first stitch. So I'm just going to thread my needle here. And then like I said, I'm just going to reinforce this little area between my last stitch and my first stitch. So I'm just going to put my needle through there and tighten it a little bit just so it's a little extra secure, and I'm going to do it one more time just for good measure. Then I'm going to take my needle off the yarn and I'm going to tie a knot just to secure everything, and then I'm just going to trim loose ends. And then that's it. It's all finished off. You can just take off your rest of your ends here. This is from where I cast it on, so I'm just going to take that off. And that's it. So here's my project here with these baby headbands. Check out the pattern below. I hope this technique was helpful for you on making this flat panel basic bind off, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial.